happy with your job? Are you happy with your current income? Do you feel stuck? Stuck at your job? Stuck financially? Or just simply stuck in general? What you are about to watch in the next 30 minutes can be your exit off the hamster wheel. It's a business like never before, where your background, race, age, sex, current income, or even what's on your resume does not matter. It's a real business with real income potential available to you right now. However, you have to choose to continue watching to see if it's for you. What's 30 minutes out of your life if this could be the game changer, life changer for you and your family?
The way I was raised, if you want to make more money, work more hours. And I came from a family with people working 2-3 jobs at a time. I knew there had to be a better way.
It took me from bankrupt to now making over $100,000 a year working from home.
We've been able to replace my income, allow us to, have the time freedom that we've always wanted to enjoy.
If you're looking to raise your standards, raise the quality of your lifestyle, then Prepaid Legal Services is an incredible vehicle.
Please welcome your host, former 4-term Attorney General of Mississippi, Mike Moore. In 1994, as current Attorney General, Mr. Moore filed the first case against the tobacco industries. With his determination and assistance from all the attorneys general, it resulted in a $250 billion settlement. It was one of the highest profiled cases of its time. It inspired the movie The Insider, directed by Michael Mann, where Mr. Moore starred as himself.
Hello, I'm Mike Moore. You might be wondering why a former Attorney General is talking to you about business and why it makes sense to own your own business. Well, in my 33 years experience in the legal world and as a 4-term Attorney General, I've learned a thing or two about good business and not so good business. That's why I'm skeptical about so-called business opportunities. I've seen my share of not so good business opportunities. I also know that our legal system isn't always accessible to the average person as it should be. And usually where there's a need, there's an opportunity. This business delivers both. And that's why I believe so much in the concept on which this company is built and Prepaid Legal Services Incorporated. Prepaid Legal Services is a New York Stock Exchange listed company that truly provides access to justice for all North Americans. It's a brick and mortar company with a home office staff of over 700, which supports approximately 1.5 million prepaid legal service members and its independent associates across North America. Prepaid Legal has been profiled in publications such as Fortune, Money, Black Enterprise, Success, and most recently, in 2010, Forbes ranked Prepaid Legal as one of the best 100 small companies in America.
Coming up, real people making real money in prepaid legal services. A former high-end real estate agent, a businessman, a man whose job at the mall outweighed his college degree, a college professor fearful of her retirement years, a former ex-Navy man, and a gentleman who tried making his way in the world with a traditional small business model and went broke.
But first, we're going to hear from my esteemed colleague, Mike Turpin, a former Attorney General for Oklahoma and provider attorney who provides legal services to prepaid legal members.
Thanks, Mike. If you don't mind, I'm going to start off by quoting the Dean of Harvard Law School. Derek Bach once said that the biggest problem with the justice system in our country today is there's far too much law for those who can afford it and far too little for those who can't. That's what I think prepaid legal is all about. We're trying to help what I call the God-fearing, hard-working, law-abiding people, just the working folks out there that need access to an attorney just like the rich folks do, but they can't afford it unless they're a prepaid legal member. And then you have a 1-800 number where you can call a quality-conscious, service-oriented law firm anytime you want. What's so unique and so special about Prepaid Legal Services is we've assembled a network of provider attorneys all over this country, North America. I think a better network than anybody has ever put together for any reason, anytime, anywhere. Not just good lawyers, but lawyers that know how to treat people. We like to call it preventive law. You call the lawyer and say, what should I do? Long before any mistakes ever made, long before anybody's ever got in a legal problem or what we call a legal pickle, long before that ever happens, you call the lawyer and ask for simple legal advice. What should I do before I sign the lease? What should I do before I lease the car? What should I do before I buy my home? I mean, those are very important legal decisions in anybody's life, And you should have a lawyer give you basic, fundamental, simple advice before you make any kind of decision like that. That's what prepaid legal is all about. We keep people out of trouble before they ever get in trouble. The obvious winner is the member. The member has the best law firms in the whole country a phone call away. My mother's a member of Prepaid Legal. I like to say that to people because I'm very proud of that fact. She can't just call me for legal advice because, the practice of law has become very specialized. And I'm pretty good at what I do, but I can't handle every problem she might have. It gives her peace of mind. It gives her a sense of security to have not her son as a lawyer a phone call away, but a whole law firm a phone call away. So it's a win for the law firms as well. Because economically, we can now practice law helping individual human beings. The very reason we went to law school is to help individual human beings with problems. And they collectively can pay us more than a major corporation could. The third winner is the associate. Ben Franklin once said, you can do well by doing good. They do well, they're paid well, but it's because they're doing good by bringing this opportunity, this membership, to all of the people across North America. There are, in fact, lawyers that have left provider attorney law firms. We don't encourage that, but have left firms to go sell the product themselves because they believe so strongly in what we're doing as attorneys. As attorneys, they think they'd rather sell the product than actually be the provider attorney. They're making a living, and they're also making a difference. And, what better opportunity in life is there than making a living and also making a difference? And that's what prepaid legal is all about.
Now, you might be saying, I've never used a lawyer, or I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I've never needed a lawyer, and I don't plan on doing anything wrong that results in needing one. That's just it. Nobody plans it, and these services aren't designed to help bad people do bad things. It's about being proactive and making smart decisions. The reality is things happen every day in our lives which can be classified as legal events.
In 2009, there were over 2.3 million member requests through prepaid legal services. And it's a fact that you are more likely to end up in a courtroom than a hospital.
I had a home in foreclosure and I had 3 children, and I didn't know what to do.
I bought a product at a department store, and it was defective.
A telephone company overcharged me for service that I no longer had.
I had a credit card charge where I was double billed.
All of a sudden, I'm getting a letter from collections telling me that I owe them $200.
I picked my car up, and guess what? The car didn't even make it home.
The attorneys wrote one letter to pull my home out of foreclosure.
I called Prepaid Legal up. They sent a letter on my behalf, and at the end of the week, I get a call from a representative from the company saying, that's not our store policy. We apologize, and we'd like to give you a full refund on the product.
What Prepaid Legal did for me was they wrote a letter to that company which switched the tables on the company, and then they said, listen, we'd rather just pay the $60 fee instead of going to collections or having to deal with a lawsuit.
A letter from the law firm got my money back.
And they wrote one letter for me on my behalf, and in less than 10 days, the whole balance was cleared and my credit was good, and I'm a happy customer.
Having a lawyer gives you, and it gave me, the respect and legal justice that so many of us do not get without legal representation.
We've been conditioned by a society rich in lawsuits and legal expenses to accept minor injustices. When things like this happen to us, we know we're treated unfairly. We know we're taken advantage of at times, but most of us see access to the legal system like an exclusive country club, something reserved only for a fortunate group of wealthy people. We have families to provide for and financial responsibilities. Real life doesn't allow for the type of financial commitment justice requires, so we simply let it go. The services also provide access to legal assistance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the event you're detained by law enforcement after regular business hours. Plus, Prepaid Legal offers you identity theft assistance, and that becomes increasingly important, considering in 2008, incidences of identity theft jumped 22% to 9.9 million cases.
Prepaid Legal, in conjunction with Kroll Incorporated, the world's leading independent risk consulting company, has a solution. The Identity Theft Shield is one of the most comprehensive packages available in the market, providing access to your credit report, regular credit monitoring, and most importantly, identity restoration services.
This is where Prepaid Legal Services fills the gap. Their unique Life Events Legal Plan and Identity Theft Shield Protection were developed in response to the need and growing concerns driven by the overwhelming lack of access to justice.
It's a service that costs about $1 a day. That's right, the cost of a bottle of water a day, and you and your family can have access to your right to justice.
It's just amazing how many people that I come into contact on a daily basis that really, are telling you of a need that they have, and we have a solution to their problem.
Having a provider law firm backing you up, it handles the whole situation more easily. It's just a phone call away.
It's one of those things that if you never have it, you can't miss it. But as soon as you have it, you're never going to want to be without it.
People just can't afford $100, $150, $200 an hour. And if they don't know their rights, they don't have any.
It's all about the ability to be able to contact an attorney and get some advice so that the little problems in life don't become big problems.
I never thought to use an attorney before, but now that I don't have to think about it, it gives me power. So all the times before when I said, you're going to hear from my attorney, and I knew I didn't have one, and they knew I didn't have one, now I have one now. And I don't have to check my pocketbook before I check my rights.
For the skeptics, it may sound too good to be true, but believe me, it's real. I wouldn't be standing here in my role as a former Attorney General if it weren't. I truly believe in the company, the founder, Mr. Harlan Stonecipher, and the mission of providing this kind of access to justice. Because I know what happens when people that need lawyers don't have them, and it's not pretty. So what does equal access to justice have to do with business?
We made $1,700 in our first 7 days of the business.
That first month, we made an extra $1,000 working very spare time.
By my third month of this business, I was actually able to not only replace but double my income as a full-time teacher.
My very first year in the business, I earned $30,000 part-time.
We've earned over $3.5 million with Prepaid Legal, so we're definitely a happy Prepaid Legal associate.
To make more in a day than I used to make 4 weeks at my old job is, it's unbelievable.
Going from a landscaper to a multiple six-figure income earner for 10 years running every year, I mean, that's pretty incredible.
I make a 7-figure income from home with no employees and no inventory and no commute, no stress.
I'm a single mom, and I've actually been able to replace my pharmaceutical income on a part-time basis working this business.
I used to make $22,000 a year as a school counselor, so to be able to double that in a month, it's truly a blessing.
Third year was over a 6-figure income, and what it means to me now is I get to stay home. I'm a stay-home dad. We have 2 kids, and my wife's been retired now for 3 years.
If you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be making 6 figures a year in my early 20s, I would have told you were crazy.
I am the second generation of my family now to say that we're millionaires with Prepaid Legal.
9 months into this company, I was blessed to walk away from the post office at the age of 26. By 27, I earned a 6-figure income, and 30, became a millionaire with the company, and life has just been good.
We've made over $6.5 million.
We've been able to do some incredible things. Months in excess of 5 figures. People making now in a month what they used to make in a year. I just don't know of any other place that's happening.
We have been paid by Prepaid Legal Services over $1 million simply for one thing, and that's letting the public know about Prepaid Legal.
Like I mentioned earlier, where there's a need for a product or service, there's opportunity. There's nothing more empowering than taking control of yours and your family's future. Prepaid Legal's motto is making a living while making a difference. You be the judge. Continue watching and decide for yourself if this business changes lives.
I see corporate America today changing dramatically. People are looking today for an opportunity that can change their lives. And there's no question that Prepaid Legal is that opportunity. And when I joined Prepaid Legal, my interest was only to build an extra few $1,000s in additional income on a part-time basis. But I recognized then, after a while, the big picture. In my third year in Prepaid Legal, I was able to generate over a $1.2 million income working out of my house. And the lifestyle that's been able to come from this is just absolutely astounding. I've been married now for nearly 41 years to my lovely wife, Beverly. We get a chance to work together out of our home. Of course, we also have the fortunate ability, because of Prepaid Legal, to have a beach home down in a little South Carolina island. It's very famous, where we enjoy a lot of our time. So freedom is very important to us, and with that, you can do so many great things. You can be with your children, your grandchildren, which we spend a lot of time with. There's legacies in life everybody wants to leave. One is your good deeds and the good works that you do, but secondly is the legacy of cash flow for your family. I was able to build up over $2 million plus residual income in prepaid legal. That's a business model that continues on. And my sons and my grandchildren will have the opportunity to receive those residual incomes because it is a book of business. And that book of business, as you're building, is also a sellable business. If I wanted to put it up for sale, I'm sure there'd be many takers out there that would love to have some serious cash flow coming in on a residual basis. There's not many business models that can do that today. So take a look at prepaid legal, take a deep look at it, and when you do, I think you'll find what I found a number of years ago that changed my financial life forever.
Well, coming from my real estate background, my brother and father and I, we had a large family-owned real estate company in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia with over 24 offices. And I was in my 20s, I was making good income, but I had absolutely zero time freedom. You know, the great thing about real estate is you go out and sell a house and make a bunch of money. But when you stop selling houses, you stop getting paid. But with prepaid legal, we sign somebody up for the service one time. You get paid a huge upfront commission, but you get paid a lifetime residual income for the life of that membership, month after month, year after year. And what passive residual income has done for me, it gives me money and the time freedom. So I'm able to go spend time with my family, go on incredible trips. I was able to go and take my family down to the Turks and Caicos Islands, and I was able to buy a piece of the island while I was down there. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in the world. I've always wanted to have a Ferrari. You know, I wanted a red 355 Ferrari Spider with tan interior. It was my dream car. I went to the dealership, and it was amazing. I just pulled out my checkbook. I didn't have to ask for financing. I was able to stroke a check to be able to buy the car. You know, I've got a 4-year-old son, and since Daddy has a Ferrari, I was able to get him a Ferrari too. My tax lady, she can't understand how I make over a 7-figure annual income with no employees, no inventory, no commute, no stress. I mean, that's what I love about this prepaid legal business model. What I've found over the years is that a lot of times people miss out on opportunities because they buy the opinions of their friends or their family. A lot of people told me when I was getting involved in this business at the beginning that I was wasting my time, that you couldn't make any money in a business like this. But last year, in the heart of the biggest recession of our lifetime, my monthly income almost hit $300,000 in a month. And if I ever decide I want to go out and sell my business, I can actually put a price tag on my business and I can sell my business. And somebody's going to want to buy it. You know why? Because where else can I go out and make a 7-figure income and see my income increase during a recession? When I got started in this company, we were just under 1% market penetration. Now we're just over 2% market penetration. And going from there to there, I've earned over $11 million personally. But my team that I've actually been able to assemble has generated well over $300 million in collective earnings in their pockets. So I just want to encourage anybody that's looking at this business for the first time, don't let any preconceived notions or ideas in your head about people that you knew that started some kind of a business from home and they didn't succeed. You know, the only way to advance is by taking a chance. And you've got to take advantage of the timing that prepaid legal offers. Here we are, the most litigious society in the world, and very few people even know that this service even exists. Timing could not get any better than where we sit right now.
Was probably raised like most people. My parents told me to go to school, get the good grades, get out and get the good job. And I did that. I went to college. But my challenge was by the time I graduated with my degree, my experience working at this mall outweighed my degree from college. And so I just stayed there at the mall. And as a manager, I worked 60, sometimes 70 hours a week, especially during the holiday season. And I said, there's no way am I going to do this for the rest of my life. And so I took a chance, only because I was desperate. The month before I joined Prepaid Legal, my house was up for foreclosure, my car was just repossessed, my cell phone was turned off. So I was really in a place where I needed something to work for my family. Prepaid Legal came along, and after the first few months, we were able to sit down where we normally pay our bills and pay all of our bills in that 1 month. Look, I felt like I was rich. It wasn't about the 6 figures or the millions that we've been blessed to earn now. It was about just being able to pay my bills and working from home. Not have to worry about traffic in the D.C. area, not have to worry about someone telling me how much money I was going to make, and worse, how much money I was never going to make. It was an unlimited income potential. That's all I saw. Yeah, sometimes I have to pinch myself to wake up, and I know that sounds a little hokey, but it's so real. I mean, sometimes throughout the day, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have a job to go to. I mean, what are you doing today? I don't know. Whatever I want to do. It's the most amazing feeling in the world. Can't express what that means to have the freedom. You know, of course, it takes money to be able to do the things for our family, our 4 kids. I mean, that alone, they have to eat. That's money. But just to have the freedom to say, yes, I can go to a class trip. Yes, I can go to your game. Yes, honey, we can go to lunch. Yes, we want to go to the movies in the middle of the day. I mean, just that alone But it's more than that. It's the ability to go out and help other people. We've been blessed to help over 40 people now earn 6 figures from home with prepaid legal services. These are folks who used to work at the post office. These are folks who were legal secretaries, engineers, folks who didn't even have a GED. So what it means to us, more than just us, is the ability to help other people, to see folks change their lives, to be able to make it on class trips where they always miss their kids growing up, but now can spend that quality time you can't get back with their children. And that means more to us than just making the money itself. You know, and I think about, I almost said no. And what would have happened? You know, I know folks think to themselves, what if it doesn't work? But you got to think, what if it does? You know, what do we have to lose? Everything to gain, nothing to lose.
Yeah, my background is I was a college professor, and I figured out one day that to earn as much as Prepaid Legal has paid me in the last 9 years, I would have had to work as a college professor for 40 years. There's a lot of people like me who are baby boomers, and they're getting ready to retire, and they might be like me who didn't prepare for that retirement. And what I looked at Prepaid Legal for was retirement, and what I've ended up with, and it almost happened, I would say almost magically, is that I've ended up with a retirement that will very likely be close to 6 figures, if not more than 6 figures, after only 9 years in the business. I believe that I'm going to have golden years. And 10 years ago, before Prepaid Legal, I was really concerned that I might be a bag lady. I mean, that's as bad as it was, because the golden years have to be financed. If you're going to enjoy your retirement, not just live your retirement, if you're going to really have a good time, you're going to be able to travel, do the things that you really want to, then you're going to have money. And I don't think there is another way where you can have control in your life and the kind of income. There's no ceiling. You know, the limit is the limit that you place on it. And what I'm finding for myself as a woman, I had a family, I had a child, I had a husband, that I could work my business around my life as opposed to trying to work my life around my business as a small business owner and as an employee. And now I have control, I have money, I have time, which I didn't have before. So I have the whole package.
I started my entrepreneurial career in the printing business in 1978 along with my father. Actually, we're successful in it for several years. All that changed in the late 80s, early 90s, and our business started to decline for several reasons. And I found myself in a situation where I started to dread Monday morning. I was living at my print shop almost 7 days a week, worried about money all the time. A friend of mine came to me and shared with me the Prepaid Legal membership, and my story in Prepaid Legal is just simply I fell in love with the product, and then I started telling other people about it. I was skeptical about a home-based business in the past. I was from traditional business where you make a sale, that customer pays you, and you don't get paid from that sale again. But with the Prepaid Legal business, you sell a membership, and you get paid a percentage of that for the lifetime of that membership. And people literally can be cash positive in their first few days. My first full year in the business, I made over $200,000. And about halfway through my Prepaid Legal business career so far, I started earning over $500,000 a year and then have gotten to 7 figures. It just shows what you can do if you work hard, passionate what you do, and enjoy transferring your belief to other people. And the company returns it because they supply a fabulous product that helps people. You can do this business just almost anywhere. All of a sudden, we found ourselves being able to create a business all across North America, travel together, enjoy some of the areas we would go to, but still build, work, and be productive at our business, work those two in together, and it's not like you're working. And I feel so fortunate to get to enjoy what I do. I'm building something for our future that we can enjoy now, but I'm also building something for the future that my family and their kids can enjoy for generations to come. So when you can have a business that you can be passionate about, and when there's a monetary reward as well, you can really, really enjoy your life.
You know, I joined the Navy to really get out there, see the world, grow up, get some education, and I just had an amazing career. But at the same token, we really struggled financially. My wife and I, you know, as a new dad, needed some new money. And I can tell you, Prepaid Legal was that for us, but it became much, much more. We weren't looking for a shift in different careers. I absolutely loved my military career. But as the checks came in, we started to realize that, hey, you know what, this can absolutely be a full-time and a long-term career for us, and we were having fun doing it. And I think that's what really got us to make that transition. Within a few years, we were really earning a very, very strong six-figure income, and our income has just exploded. We've had months over $150,000 for the month, and have made well over $3.5 million in just the past few years. And for a Navy guy to be able to say that has just been truly amazing. You know, I think right now with our economy, some folks have lost their vision. They've lost their dream. And, you know, I've watched families with their children just playing on the beach in the middle of the workday. You know, how did they get there? What did they do? And just daydreaming that someday I'd love to be able to live like that. And I never lost sight of that dream. And just a few months ago, I just bought our dream home in Hawaii on Oahu, and right across from the Marine base that I spent most of my military career with. So it's just awesome for us to have that parallel, to be in the multi-million-dollar neighborhood and to look back on that Marine base and go, you know what, you really can do it.
It amazes other people, you know, when I buy homes and cars and different things, to be able to provide, you know, when they want your tax returns or other data that they need to make a decision on lending to you. Some of the folks say, what do you do for work? And I say, well, I guess you don't really call it work, but I work from home. And they say, what do you do from home that generates that type of income? And I say, have you ever heard of a company called Prepaid Legal Services? Some have, some haven't, but they still cannot believe that you can earn millions of dollars from a home-based business.
It's not necessarily what level of education you have, or do you have a business background, or are you a marketing expert, because I didn't have any of those things. But I understood systems from the military, and I understood that if you plug yourself into a system that's proven to work, all you have to do is be a part of that system, and it'll take you all the way to the top. And look, this is not a free ride. This is a real business. It's a real company. It's got a real product, and guess what? It pays real paychecks, but it does require work. But you know what? We're going to work anyways. Why not work for a company where we're having fun, making a difference around people that are fun, that care about where you're going, where you've been, and where you want to take this thing? I really pride myself on, I'm a systemic person. I plug myself into things that work, and I'm the steady Eddie example in this company. I do a little bit every single day, and that's what's really helped us get to the top.
Prepaid Legal is a real business with real money to be made that allows you to take control of your finances, your life, and your future. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you've done up to this point. Prepaid Legal can be the game changer, life changer for you and your family. Take responsibility today for your life and future, and call the person who invited you to view this program right now. You'll be glad you did.